Get This on the Triple M network.
The program is Get This.
I've used the analogy.
Oh, no.
It's like a highly designed Formula One racing car.
That's right, yeah.
It's driving at a fast pace.
Of course it is.
But if a driver in a highly calibrated Formula One motor racing car takes a corner too wide,
Sure, something's going to happen.
or brakes in the wrong way,
or brakes in the
you'll
wrong
have a crash.
A crash, absolutely. Whew. Highly calibrated.
I don't know what he's on about.
That's what this show is. You know, forget the racing cars. Just get behind the wheel of 4x4s. Ute of the Year. 4x4 Australia have voted 2 years running for the Nissan Navara, our sponsors, just by coincidence.
Ute of the Year.
Ute of the Year. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Ute of the
What song
Year.
is that?
I don't know.
Band on the Run.
Was it?
Oh,
I don't
is that
know.
what that was?
Sounded
Just
like.
popped into my head. Okay, that's 4x4 Australia's call, that one.
Yeah.
Listen to what they're saying. The way the Navara blends cornering ability with ride comfort is outstanding. So go around a corner, real sharp corner, I'd expect a bit of centrifugal force pressing me against the glass.
Gravitron style.
Fruit bowl style. Not in the Navara. Zero gravity at all times within the cabinet.
Outstanding.
It has a cabinet.
Really?
It's got a lot of mum's valuable china just in the front there.
But the suspension is so good that you would never tell. It doesn't rattle. Nothing breaks when you
There you
drive
go.
with the full cabinet and the china hutch.
Bloke had a cabinet on the roadshow the other day that that was from Japan. 17. It was Meiji in period tone.
Really?
$3,000.
Wow. That goes straight into the china hutch, did you call it?
Into the china hutch.
The Navara comes with a china hutch. Does now. 4 beverage holders and a china hutch.
$3,000.
Yep.
Have the lawyers finished saying whether we can play this O.J. Simpson tape? They're just still consulting out there, but I'm sure people know the story by now. O.J. Simpson burst into a hotel on Thursday, allegedly, and snatched memorabilia documenting his own career. I think there was the knife, the gloves, keys to the Bronco, all the really memorable things.
That's the thing. The judge said he was a flight risk. What evidence does he have of that? Besides the hours and hours of footage.
But isn't it that thing where, because, I love The Naked Gun,
So do I.
and the first scene after the credits is one of the funniest scenes in any movie, where he sort of puts his leg through the door, burns himself on the iron, falls into a cake,
It's hilarious.
steps in a bear trap.
That's right.
And it's got this weird
Falls out the
sort
window.
of, you can't watch it and enjoy it the way you used to.
Because you think OJ wants to do that to others.
And then there's like Kramer. Do you find the old Seinfeld?
Oh, yeah.
Just feel a bit wrong now?
There's something else going on there behind the eyes. What about, see, I'm a big fan of Gary Glitter's music.
Yes.
But,
No.
can't listen to it loud anymore. Got to listen to it with headphones so no one else knows I'm listening to Gary Glitter.
That bloke.
Yeah, because that doesn't look creepy. If you're on public transport and there's a bloke in a pavement T-shirt next to you with his hands in his pockets and you can vaguely hear Gary Glitter coming out of his headphones, just fine.
Yeah.
Ed,
He's cool.
You want to be in my gang. You want to be in my gang.
Who else is in it? Who else is in it at the moment?
Who's in that gang?
Well, it's me and Diesel, obviously.
Okay, the lawyers have given us the thumbs down. Now, the problem is, I've got this report off Channel 10 News. We're allowed to play the report. It's just we don't have the rights to the clips of O.J. Simpson.
Okay.
You know this recording they've got of him going nuts?
yeah.
That's right, yeah.
So I've had to replace the clips with something else.
Okay.
Let's hear the story now.
Overseas, and an audio tape of the alleged armed robbery involving O.J. Simpson has surfaced. The fallen American football star can be heard yelling, but he denies any weapons were involved.
What are you charging me for?
You've been arrested for obscene language.
Yeah,
Denied bail, O.J. Simpson will be calling a Las Vegas prison cell home for at least the next couple of days.
How come?
Accused of armed robbery to snatch back sports memorabilia.
You racist.
But he's still being heard,
You just racist me.
with a celebrity website releasing a tape of an alleged confrontation between Simpson and other men in a Las Vegas hotel room.
Assault! Assault! You touched me, officer, sorry.
The fallen football star admits he tried to get back valuable memorabilia he claims was his, but denies weapons were involved.
Tell you what, you charged me for f***ing stealing it. Go on.
That's not what I want to do. I want to get to the bottom.
Nah, you do. You want to lock me up for the night? Let's f***ing go. Come on. You think I'm scared of the cells, mate? I've
Well,
just
no, I
spent all
don't.
my f***ing life in the cells.
Hey, cut
Where's
that
the
language
cell?
out.
You want to lock me up? Come
No.
on. I've done nothing wrong.
He's facing charges of robbery with a deadly weapon, assault,
Assault! Assault!
and conspiracy to commit a crime.
Do you understand?
Yes.
You do
and
understand.
A lawyer has to be present.
We will ring
My
your
lawyer has to be present.
One television self-help guru offered this explanation for Simpson's alleged behaviour.
There's not a crime at all. Like I said, I can be with Frank today and tell him to shoot you. If he shoots you and I didn't mean to tell him, I'm just joking, they shoot me, you know? Just say he shot you.
Don't shoot me, Frank.
That's for sure, but I'm just saying, if I told Frank to jump off the Harbour, I've told you mucking around at the front of the Harbour Bridge, you jump off the Harbour Bridge and you jump. I don't want you to jump off the Harbour Bridge.
If found guilty, Simpson faces up to 30 years in prison.
Call her now.
No, just
Call my lawyer
can I
now.
just say my piece?
Now call my lawyer. Yeah, I know you're the police. Sorry.
He'll be back in court on Thursday when more details of the charges are expected to emerge.
Call my lawyer now.
Can I just speak for a sec?
You can't.
Okay.
You
Right.
can't. Unless you're arresting me.
We saw you just pull out of Frylanders Road.
No, you didn't.
Yep.
No, you didn't. I've been parked there for at least 30 seconds.
Oh, yes. Well, we've been trying to
At least
catch
30
up. We've
seconds.
been
So
trying
have
to
you
me.
been-
Listen,
me?
we've been trying to catch up to you for about the last minute. Right.
Assault! Assault!
Nicole Strawn, 10 News.
There you go. I hope people could follow that at home.
Yeah, because I was under the impression that O.J. Simpson was a 60-year-old American man, but he's not. He's an out-of-breath, drunken New Zealander. I've been a fool, Tone.
We did have to replace all the footage of OJ with clips from Police 10-7 seen on the Crime Investigation Network on Foxtel, and I believe Jeff Fennick was subbing for Dr. Phil there. Ed Cavali's here. He's part of the Get This team. For people who are new to the show, do you think people are getting the idea by now, Rich?
To this day, I remain baffled.
Okay, well,
Understandable.
Johnny.
hold that thought because how would you describe, Richard, how would you describe Ed's patented radio quizzes in a word?
Shoddy.
Shoddy.
Yeah.
I would have gone with confusing, maybe ill-prepared, but shoddy? Really?
Is
Shoddy?
backstabbing one word?
But in a nice way. In a fun.
Nicky, is turncoat one word or two?
So what are we doing here?
Well, I don't know. No, nothing now. We're just
come
we're going to
on.
sulk.
Okay.
I know
No,
what.
lovably shoddy
Yeah.
is what I meant.
Lovably shoddy.
You know what I'm saying?
Like one of those plumbers that you see on Today Tonight.
Terrifically hopeless.
Okay.
I know something you're always going on about downstairs. The women's mags arrive and you'll hear Ed Cavalier going, "Who is Sienna Miller?
Well-
Who even knows who she is? Has anyone who read these magazines even seen a single thing she's ever been in?"
Well, it's funny you should say that, Tone, because it's time now to check in with the Get This publicity machine. Yes, from the people that brought you Freddie Prinze Jr. and that girl with the stuff from American Pie comes the actress in so many magazines she must be famous. From such classics as that one with the from a bunch of movies. She's in stuff.
She was in. I saw a photo of her at the beach one time in
Yeah,
the
I
New
think
Weekly.
she's in a bikini.
She was coming out of a nightclub once.
Yeah, that's her. That's the one.
I saw her with Misha Barton one time from. Oh, she used to be in something. She was in something.
She's got a haircut of some sort.
point,
Well,
yeah.
here we go, Tone. This leads us to our brand new segment,
Yeah.
Sienna Miller Movie or Prison Tattoo.
Okay.
So I've gone onto the Ethernet and dug out the names of some alleged Sienna Miller films, and then I've gone onto the internet to check out some prison tats.
Okay.
Jeez, I tell you what.
What is a prison tat? Something that you get inside.
Yeah, a tat that you got in Priz.
Okay.
What do you call a segment that takes longer to explain than to execute?
You're first, Richard.
Okay, here we go.
Factory Girl.
And what am I meant to do with
Oh,
that?
is that Sienna Miller movie or a prison tat?
Well, that's definitely a Sienna Miller movie.
Yeah.
Bang. What was your favourite scene in that one?
I haven't seen it.
Really? What would you imagine your favourite scene would be?
It's about Edie Sedgwick, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Andy Warhol.
The whole factory scene.
Okay.
Velvet
Wasn't
Underground.
Edie Sedgwick kind of famous for not actually doing
There
anything
you
at
go.
all?
She's perfectly cast.
Wow.
Tony,
Yes.
Texas Boys in the Joint.
Oh, that's surely a prison. I think I've seen Marsland wearing that one on the ankle.
It's one of Richard's. It's on his neck.
Of course
There
it
we
is.
go.
Pardon me.
Absolutely right. Richard, Edge of Love.
No, that's definitely a prison tat. I think I saw it in Ghost of the Civil Dead.
Incorrect. Sienna Miller. Sienna Miller. That's the noise for you got it wrong. Okay.
That.
That was like a clunking of like you've been put in the slammer.
We are still going to air. I will point this out.
Okay, Tony Martin, Cute Poison.
Oh, that's surely another Marsland tat.
Marsland? Oh, no, you're wrong. No, sorry, that is it. Oh, actually, I don't remember. No, that's the tat. Prison tat.
Okay.
You're right.
So the quiz is, I guess, which one of those answers is correct?
That was on someone's tongue.
Whoa.
Someone's tongue. Finally, Richard.
Yep.
Flaming Skulls of Freedom.
I think maybe Sienna Miller, maybe they're in talks, it's in pre-production, isn't it?
Incorrect. Tat.
Oh.
The soles of someone's foot. The soles of someone's foot.
What was Edge of Love? Go back to that. What was that?
That's a Sienna Miller movie.
Yeah, who's in that one with her?
Well, it doesn't say. Apparently, it's coming out. She played Caitlin McNamara.
Oh, yes, they're very good.
If that rings any bells. That's the end of the segment.
Oh, that's the end of the segment. No. There's no way that could be described as shoddy. I'm into the new weekly, and look at this. Everyone's talking about the cover of the latest one. Britney Spears. I look like a fat pig.
No, you don't, Britney.
Then you go inside. There's the quote again. I look like a fat pig. You're going, would she have said that? Who actually came up with this quote? An onlooker.
An onlooker.
An onlooker reported that bombshell. And I think we've seen the footage.
How can she say I if it's a... Is the onlooker assuming that they are Britney Spears?
No, the onlooker heard Britney say distinctly the phrase, I looked like a fat pig. Now, people are criticising. I notice the footage is not available on YouTube.
No, you can't dial it up, and when you do, they only give you 20 seconds, like a 20-second highlight. They can't give you the whole thing for some reason.
You can see the JFK assassination from about 15 different angles on YouTube. But you can't see Britney Spears at the MTV Awards.
Well, Zafruda didn't shoot it. That's why.
Didn't have his coverage. So that's what's happened. The record company's gone, so embarrassing. Get it down. Legal action on anyone who tries. Because I'm assuming people are trying to upload it all the time. Yeah. Millions of people must have taped it. But you can't get the footage. Yeah. Now, why? Well, the New Weekly is saying, apart from it just being shambolic, and she's on the Xanax and supposed to have been rehearsing for 2 weeks, out getting pissed instead.
Well, that's her choice.
That's right. Slugging down shots of vodka, incoherent. This is all from the onlookers, obviously. Said that on the gut, she had fake abs spray tanned on.
Mm-hmm.
Does that go on? So, because to me in this photo, it's looking a bit, well, the only gay in the village is the phrase that's springing to my mind. But you can just get some kind of stencil, some kind of template, and spray on some fake abs.
If your stomach is flattish, or even if it's got a little bit of paunch, they can spray abs right on that bad boy, Tone.
Just order up a cavally. I'll have a cavally, that one on the wall.
Oh,
those
listen
abs.
to that.
No, you got a good body. I'd love to get a cavally.
But if it's convex, if it's... Okay, crack onto him off here. I'm just thinking it has to be... Like, if it's sticking out, if it's convex.
Yeah. She looked like a turtle. It looked like the back of a turtle, because it was the shape of abs, but it was a convex, as you say.
And you're saying...
She's so hot, though.
Hotter than ever.
Hotter than ever.
The lower she goes, the hotter she gets, you're saying.
One time there was a photograph of her lying in a gutter with a Slurpee, no underpants on, and I was like, there's my lady.
Well, that's it.
What I'm looking for. I can only meet a girl like that.
See, this has gone badly, the stumbling around on stage.
It was a setup, Tone. This is a setup. This is what they're doing. They send her out first time. She stuffs it up. Then in 3 weeks' time, she comes back triumphant. I'm telling you, it's a setup.
Well, okay, they're saying
Elvis
that...
did it.
You know, she's embarrassed by this footage. They've banned it from YouTube. How can she win people back? Go back to what you know, Britney.
Yeah.
What you're good at. Yeah. Getting out of a limo with no pants on, which is what she's done over the weekend. She's done it again.
Why are people always on it, Britney? People have been doing this for hundreds of years. Marie Antoinette, always commando. It's just that the oil painting took too long. People didn't have time to get an image.
Because what was it Richard said? You said that it's something she's doing so that it's a time saver because when she's on tour, she doesn't have to clock in with the gynecologist.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's right.
He just
get a camera.
Get onto Perez Hilton. Go, yep, all clear on that one.
Everything's fine.
See, I don't know what to do about the internet because theoretically my life should be leading to a point where, you know, Britney and I have some contact that way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But the internet's giving it away for free. I don't know whether to love it or hate it.
What have you got for us, Mr. Marsland, show business-wise?
Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
Always in the mags.
What's he done now?
Last night, Romper Stomper was on. Great film.
Yeah.
Wonderful actor. This is interesting news that's just come through, and that is the South Sydney Leagues Club.
In Redfern.
The Rabbitohs.
Yeah.
Okay, because he's involved. He's heavily involved with the Rabbitohs.
One of your favourite players,
As
Rich,
we know.
is... who's your favourite Rabbitohs player again, Rich?
Seymour Long Tall Shorty.
Carl Rackerman, you said earlier.
Well, this is great. The South Sydney Leagues Club, from a move from Russell Crowe, is set to dump its 60 Pokies machines.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
In a historic move expected to cost millions of dollars in lost gaming revenue. So I think a round of applause. That's very good.
Absolutely right. Yeah, well done, sir. Well done.
So they're going to turn all that space into a performing space. Bad news, Tofog are scheduled to perform.
Oh, well, so...
The crowd can go either way.
There's the brown lining.
You're right.
What have you got over there, Mr. Cavalier?
Well, we're talking cars,
Yeah.
and we're talking women's mags. And have a look at this.
Youth of the year.
I really don't understand what that means. One, I don't understand what it is. And two, do you have to look at me while you're singing that?
Other youths just fill their booths because of the outstanding cornering ability. Sorry, trying to come up with a jingle for the Navara.
It's amazing.
What's that?
All right, we're still in the women's mags, and have a look at this. In the odd spot, a green reptile was discovered when a police officer noticed something moving under a woman's shirt when he pulled her over for a routine speeding check.
Sure.
She admitted after a while that, yes, it was in fact a lizard, and it was her pet. I've actually got some audio of the incident, which is quite damning. Let's cross to that now.
Excuse me, madam, is it? Do you realise you were speeding?
No, I wasn't.
Sorry, madam, is there something in your shirt?
No.
I think there is.
You got me. I'm Richard, and when I'm cruising in drag, I like to keep a lizard in my training bra. Do you like Lily Allen?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It was Richard Marsland.
How is it recorded? I mean,
It's the quality of that dashboard footage. And I like that I'm introducing myself later on in conversations now too. Not just beginning every sentence.
well, I guess that's all the show business news. Hot off the griddle. We're going to talk faux pas today because one show we all love in here, and Australians have grown to love it, even though it's pretty hard to see, is Curb Your Enthusiasm. With Larry David. Now, it's never been given a proper run on Channel 9. It comes up at about 2 in the morning. I think the Comedy Channel might have had it for a while, but somehow it's become a massive word-of-mouth success on DVD. Australians love Larry David and his faux pas. And I find that music, I just have it on a little tape recorder because my whole life is just a series of those moments.
Sure is, Dane.
So that's what we're going to do. I had one, I guess this is for someone else. I got into work on Monday morning. It was an envelope with a DVD in it. And I won't say who. Someone who's been on this show, actually. Won't go any further than that. Said, here's a DVD I was only going to throw out. Thought you might like it. And I recognised it as a present I'd given that person 5 years ago.
Very nice.
There you go. That's a Curb Your Enthusiasm moment. Have you had one of those, Ed Cavalier?
I'm dipping out of this. I'm not taking part in
Abstaining?
Yeah, this is the segment where I get into trouble. It's about this time of day where various flatmates, girlfriends, and various exes and various former housemates of mine tune in to hear the stories that I normally tell about them.
Yeah, Talkback Mountain has already had you evicted from one property during the life of the show.
1.5. It certainly was the final nail, as they say. So yeah, I'm just going to throw to Richard here right now.
And yet you've got so many.
Because I mentioned, hair tussling the other day, and that's caused some trouble.
Yeah.
So, less said the better, I reckon.
Yeah, the pirated DVDs. I think the police visited.
that
it.
wasn't, that wasn't much fun.
What have you got, Rich?
I've actually seen one of the new Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, the 6th series is done.
The 6th series, yes. Because it is International Download Like a Pirate Day. And so I've got that, and that's great. The first episode of the next season back.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's really hilarious. Although this happened when I was about 14 or 15 years of age.
Here we go.
Yes, on the train. And me and this girl, I guess maybe we were flirting back and forth.
Probably.
Yeah, and we just met someone else from another school. And we tried to convince him that we were in fact brother and sister. Just that we were brother and sister. Just, a bit of pantomime, bit of fun to make the train ride,
That's how you flirt. You go, pretend you're my sister. It's going to be hot.
That's what you do
Is
when
that
you're
how you
14
flirt?
years of age. Yeah. So we pretended we were brother and sister until I mentioned something about mum. And I didn't know this about her mum, but in fact her mum had indeed passed away a few years earlier, which the other kid knew. So the jig was up.
Okay.
You just...
But,
Wow.
I get myself in so much
Still together?
horrible.
I've got one here in the pages of, I think, last week's Zoo magazine.
Yeah, Tone, you were wedged in there between the tail and the injuries.
I'm the only person in the whole issue with real cans. Now, they've tried to throw curveballs at me.
Well, and they've also attributed a quote to you. You've got a speech bubble coming out of your mouth.
That's
in one
right.
of the photos. Did you say that? You said that, didn't you?
No, I'm pointing at Nikki from Thank God You're Here in the ensemble cast, and I'm saying, ha, 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 no, really, can I cop a feel? Don't think I said that on the night.
Not sure.
Okay. Then down here...
It's not how she tells it. She says you were much less polite than that.
They've tried to get me to slag off Mick Malloy. They've asked me about the nation. They've done every trick in the book. Which zoo girl do you fancy the most, they've asked me.
Which zoo girl do you fancy the most?
I wrote... the one with the real tits, I think she appeared in the background of a shot of someone slaughtering a pig back in April. That was the best I could come up with. But look at this. They've said, can female comedians be funny without talking about vaginas?
Wow. Your thoughts, Tony Martin. As a female comedian, Tony, how do you feel?
I know I can't. And then I talked about some of the great female comedians out working the traps, that are not Quizmania material, so we don't see them on the TV. And then I wrote this. I've tried to convince Andrea Powell to send her ass into your booty bank. Get the profile up, but she won't see reason. Mm-hmm. Here's the Curb Your Enthusiasm moment. Mm-hmm. The editor of Zoo has added, but not attributed it to himself. So it looks like I've said, I've tried to convince Andrea Powell, brackets, a.k.a. very unfunny comedian Ethel Chop. Ooh. So I had to call...
Is that the only thing he's added?
That's the only thing he's added. Very unfunny. So I had to call up Andrew and say, I didn't say that. And she's going, what mag's this? I'm going, Zoo Magazine. She's never heard of Zoo Magazine. I said, pop down the shops. You'll enjoy it. Ethel Chop will get a lot out of Zoo Magazine. Okay, so that's in there. My life is one long episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Is yours, listeners? Call us up.
G'day, Tony.
I was watching them film the movie The Sum of Us, but I didn't know what was going on at the time. I just thought it was a commercial, and I'm standing next to a fella, and I noticed Rebecca Amagloglu doing a scene, and I said to this fella, what's going on, mate? He says, filming a movie. I turned around and I said, who's in it? He says, me. It was Russell Crowe.
Oh, hey. Wow. Whereabouts did this happen?
This was in Balmain in Sydney.
Oh.
Campbell Parade.
And did he snap you one?
He was just showed a little bit of attitude, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and wasn't really interested in any more to do with me.
Oh,
Tony.
Yeah, wasn't good.
Have you heard about he's getting rid of the pokie machines at his football club? Have you heard about...
so he can fill the crowds with his toe fog.
Okay. I hope he did a speech to the pokie machines.
Oh, you think so?
You pokies, you bastard sons of a bastard father, I vanquish thee from this our most splendid club.
Nevermore shall people get the Penguin feature.
He has that music everywhere now.
Nims, how are you?
When I was in year 8, I was a bit of a lippy kid, and a girl in my class's grandmother had recently died, and I didn't know this, and I unfortunately said to her, who died and made you king?
Oh,
yeah, well, there you go, you sensitive guy.
Oh,
and were you trying to make her pretend that she was your sister in order to go out with you at that point, Nims?
No, I believe it was because she took some of my pencils or something, but the amount of hate that was just directed at me was...
Yeah, it was probably fair enough too, Nims, I'm sorry.
Well, it's good to see that people are confessing, and it's good to see that people aren't borrowing Richard Marsland's romantic techniques.
I mean, it's amazing. What were you thinking? You were thinking after a while of pretending to be your sister, she'd think you were so cute that you'd hook up, Rich.
Yeah, I had no idea what I was.
Is that...
Well, doesn't that... It didn't... I mean, I guess it brought us closer in some way. But...
Charges pending. Who's going next?
Hi, Susie. How are you?
All of my brothers and sisters and I, there's 5 of us, we have a horrible habit of calling anybody's new partner by the ex-partner's name.
Yes. Oh, it's a classic.
And how does that go down?
It's very bad. I even did it once when I didn't know who the ex was. I'd never met the ex or heard the ex's name.
And how did you guess their name?
It just came out. And apparently it was like a really horrible breakup. And when I said the name, this horrible hush went through the whole room and I was almost thrown out.
Wow.
Yes. Well, someone who comes on this show had the same thing happen, and there was the awful hush, and then an elderly sort of grandmother figure just said from the background, I preferred that one. That was the icing on the cake. But that's good because that transfers the faux pas to somebody else.
Absolutely right. Deflects the damage. Susie, do they change partners a lot, your brothers and sisters?
Yeah, we're all a bunch of tarts.
What? Really?
Yeah, yep.
They swap.
Well, welcome to Get This.
More power
It's
to
a
you.
bit confusing.
No, whatevs, you know? Have a key party. All right, thank you, Susie.
Any other tarts on the line?
Yeah, well, hi, Lisa. How are you?
I've just recently sold my business to a Chinese couple.
Yes.
And we're in food, and they asked me, what should they pack a salad in for one of our customers? And I pointed over to the bench. I said, just in one of those Chinese containers.
Oh, yeah, see, there you go. Now, you probably... It probably warrants a gong anthem. There we go.
But hang on, are we talking the plastic see-through containers?
And yes, we are.
Yes. I think it'd be acceptable if it was those cardboard ones.
I think so as
that you
well.
see in old
Plastic
TV shows.
containers.
Yeah, plastic ones. Fairly generic. Thank you, Lisa.
Well, don't forget...
Plastic containers.
Enough of your hate crimes.
No, don't forget the great new thing in Australia. If you can't pronounce a Chinese person's name, just call them Pumpkin.
Call them Pumpkin.
Apparently it's
I've
much
got
easier.
some uncles and aunties that are getting the pumpkin treatment. Bad luck, Shu Kwong. It's Pumpkin from now on.
We've got Santo Cilauro with us.
Here's a question, guys. I've been belaying all day. Does you know what that means?
No, what's that?
Just chilling out?
No one knows what belaying is.
No, don't know belaying.
Belaying.
What's that?
There's a competition.
No guns
You
are
guys
like-
aren't smarter than a fifth grader. Then.
Is this...
It's the person that stands at the bottom of a rock climber.
Oh, holding the rope.
Holding the rope, yeah. So I took a whole bunch of grade 4 kids rock climbing today. Yeah.
Just on your own bat? Just
no,
showed up
couple
at
of
a school and
few
went,
other-
hey, got a van?
I like to hang around with
Bundled
young
them into a
kids.
van.
Can I tell you, it's a great way to keep fit as a belayer because you sweat out of pure stress. What happens is when you arrive at any rock climbing place and you're a belayer, you have to sign this piece of paper saying anyone that climbs with you, if they die, it's your fault.
Oh.
It's really stressful. It's totally, and there's kids 25 metres up in the air going, spider pig. They're just doing anything. And you're sitting at the bottom absolutely sweating going, I don't even know how to tie my own shoelaces, let alone, tie the knot on this thing.
Santo, let's say that the kid was to fall. Does the job of the belayer then become the catcher?
The catcher.
Or to get your body in the way?
I haven't got to that point yet,
Well,
but
that's
interesting, the catcher.
Yeah, because at fat camp, you know what I'm saying? It's a tough gig.
Well, we've learned a new word, belaying.
Belaying.
Here's my favourite word at the moment, calipigian. Do you know what that means?
Calipigian?
Calipigian, you can look it up in the dictionary. It's there. You can say to someone, hey, you're looking pretty calipigian today.
You are too, Rich.
You know what it means?
Yep.
Having well-shaped buttocks.
Oh, okay.
It's a real word in the actual dictionary, so throw that one around at work. Can't be accused of harassment if they don't know what it means.
Such a sexy word too. Hey baby, calipigian.
Pigian.
Calipigian.
I think calipigian is a sexy pigeon, possibly. Don't know what I'm talking about.
Pigeon with calipers.
Now, I mentioned...
Well, you do. Sometimes you see, seagulls with busted leg, the one that's twisted backwards. If he had calipers, he'd be all right.
It would be
I
right.
just realised if you're belaying, that's a good chance to tell whether someone's calipigian, really, when you
Hey,
think about
Tony,
it.
when do we go on air? I'd just love to know.
It does start
Surely
going to
this
air.
song's over, isn't it?
They're broadcasting in a couple of weeks. We've been talking about this phenomenon, people waking up with a new voice. The other day, someone woke up who couldn't speak English. Czechoslovakian.
That's right.
Suddenly speaks fluent English.
Some sort of soccer mishap. Someone from the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
Bang, he was knocked out and woke up. Yep, absolutely fluent English.
Now, today, we have a 10-year-old boy in England who's woken up with an upper-class English accent after undergoing life-saving brain surgery. Before speaking with a Yorkshire accent. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm sure it's very up north, very like that.
That's it. That's the one.
Then wakes up and it's, lovely to see you. Hey, Hugh Grant. Yeah, delightful. Wonderful. Yeah, lovely. So has that ever happened? Well, I don't know that it's happened to anyone here, but our premise today is, let's pretend it has. We want you to just call us up with your new accent. Now, we all have voices that we like to do, surely, Mr. Cavalier.
Yes.
Come on, you do a few voices, accents.
I do a few accents. I do quite a good South African. I worked in a video store in Rose Bay for 8 years. So I got it quite well. The Pajero's parked out the front, and if I don't have my video in 5 minutes, I'm not bailing these curly whirlies.
That's very good. The gong, is that good or bad?
It's just breakfast.
General tip of the hat.
You're just taking the edge off it in case it's racist. That's what we say. I love to do Jim from East End, this talks like this on the Foxtel. God, blimey, bleeding out. What's for me bleeding tea? Then I noticed the footage of Indiana Jones, the new Indiana Jones movie.
Oh, it's Harrison Ford.
And they've only released one photo from it, and it's Shia LaBeouf, who's playing Indiana Jones Jr., driving a motorbike. Clinging desperately to the back of him is an elderly man who I realised after a minute of looking at it was Harrison Ford.
Absolutely.
But he's looking very Jim from East End.
Isn't he what?
So now I just can't stop going, I'm Indiana Bleeding Jones, then I wears this bleeding Templar team, I'll catch me deaf when I... It's just, I can't stop doing it.
Fair enough.
Tony, what film is this voice from? I would do anything to save my son. He's a very sick boy, and I would like to help him.
What is that?
Lorenzo's Oil.
Lorenzo's Oil. Now,
yes.
when Nick Nolte did the dad in Lorenzo's Oil, and I'm listening and I'm laughing my head off going, that is hilarious. Only my uncles talk like that. It's impossible. And people in sketch comedy. And then I heard an interview with the real Lorenzo's father.
Really? So it
speaks exactly like that.
Was his name Geppetto?
Was that what it was in the film?
Something like that.
It was unbelievable. I listened to it. Nick Nolte does it down to a T, but it sounds like a comedy act.
Sounds like a bet, because the most confusing accent in a movie is surely John Voight in Anaconda.
Oh, yeah. No, I think he's meant to be from Rhodesia or something.
Really?
Yeah. It's like Namibia or Rhodesia. I remember that.
Ever woken up with a new accent, Mr. Marsland?
You know who does a great Australian accent? You were speaking about Australian accents before, and this is a name from left field, Kenny Rogers.
Really?
Yeah, I saw Kenny
in what
Rogers.
context?
He came out here years ago, and he was on the midday show or something, and someone said, you can do a good Australian accent. Broke into it. It was amazing. It was the best Australian accent I've ever heard an American do.
Okay, well, that's Kenny Rogers. What about you, Mr. Marsland?
I can't really. I mean, I had South African. You really trumped me there.
Okay, well, what else have you got
All I
there?
can do is the dude in the Big Lebowski.
Let's hear him.
Hey, man, this is a beverage here. That's all. I mean, is that okay?
All right,
it's like Californian surf bum.
Clearly the bar has been raised.
Peter, how are you?
Top of the morning to you.
That's more like it. Yes, and what's been going on?
I've been looking for me pot of gold all my day.
Have you really?
Hit us with your accent.
You'll find it probably next to your shillelagh.
Oh, I don't think so.
All right.
I think it might have been in McGuinness.
Oh, it's in your Guinness. Absolutely right. Well done to you,
Let's
Pete.
reward that accent with a Bar Jars DVD.
Done well.
Yay.
Done well. Hello there, Simon.
Good morning.
Oh, Simon, what have you been up to?
I went out for a Vindaloo and I woke up with this accent and I don't know what to do about it.
Oh, well, we've got a cross line here. We've got a telemarker.
Let's give
I'm
that man...
from Bombay. I am working for Telstra. I wanted to get interest you in a new
Very
plan.
good, sir. You've got yourself a breakfast shift. Thank you very much. And a Bar Jars olden days.
Hi, Steph. Are you there?
I can speak hillbilly.
Oh, that's
It's real easy.
that's uncanny.
Yeah.
Uncanny.
And a little bit Dolly Parton, too.
It is a little bit Dolly.
I can just put it on whenever I want.
Steph, how old are you?
I'm 15.
Are you emo?
Emo. No, I'm not emo.
All right.
No one does emo hillbilly. This is impossible. That's just an impossible.
Why would I be emo?
I don't know, Steph. You sound like you're into Most Precious Blood or My Chemical Dance Floor, whatever they're called.
My Chemical Romance.
That's it.
My Chemical Dance Floor.
Steph, do you have any idea what something called Bar Jars might be?
No.
Well, you're in for a rude shock. Life as it was in the early 90s coming your way.
Thank you, Steph. Great job.
Well, Talkback Mountain, see, I've got nothing written in front of me. You know why? Because it's Richard Marsland's choice. This is Marsland.
That's right. That's what it's called.
I want to see you reenact that poster. Wasn't that what you were going to do for our website? The This is England poster?
That's right, with all the kids standing there, all the skinheads.
In the braces?
Great fashion from like 83.
Okay, that's where we are right now. This is Marsland. So many phone topics.
Jeez, what a pressure.
How many has he got? Weren't you checking out his...
Well, I'll get to those. Once we hear what his are, I'll tell you some of the ones I saw on his desk that I bet he doesn't want to read out.
All right, so you're giving us a choice today, Richard.
We had a few because there were so many positive Pokies stories.
Okay.
Good news. Yep,
Yep.
that's one.
Pokies
Writing
in the
that
news.
down.
Favourite cover band names.
Favourite cover band name.
Yes,
Writing that
yep.
down. Yep.
Worst birthday ever.
Worst birthday ever.
That's just three I've got in the mix.
So
at
is
the
that
moment.
is that all the ones you're going to claim that you?
That's-
Okay, well then why is it then on your desk? I also saw Whose Hand Is That? Steam Room Antics, and Who Do You Think's Into It?
I've got stories for all three of them. In fact, they're the same story, as a matter of fact. Whose hand is that? They're into it in the steam bath.
We're not doing Whose Hand Is That. We're going to let you choose, people. Positive pokey stories, right? Are there any of them? Have you got one?
I've got a positive gambling story.
Yeah.
This is interesting. On the holidays, I took a cab. He gave me a tip for a race. And normally you go, yeah, okay, whatever. But I thought, no, I'm gonna follow this guy up.
Yep.
Race 6 Bendigo came through like a trooper.
Boom.
Made some bread on it. It was fantastic. He also gave me the trifecta, which I lost all my money on
Yeah, fair enough.
in the same race. But still, good tip.
Good
And
tip.
what did you have to give him in return? Just your virginity, as per usual. How many times has he given that away?
Every week.
He's given it away on air about 5
How do
times.
people keep falling for that?
Okay, favourite cover band names. Gee, that's tough.
My friend was a drummer in a U2 cover band called Zoo2. Combination of Zooropa and
Yeah,
U2.
no, I got it.
Yeah,
Also, one of my favourites that I've seen, an ABBA cover band, but they do hard rock versions, and they're called Matabica.
Oh, that's not bad.
They're doing the
all right.
rounds now and again.
It's not bad.
There used to be a New Zealand band in the early 80s called Blam Blam Blam. Very good.
Right.
There was a cover band that used to do their songs called Blam 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 Blam. I thought that was going... It's quite hard to say. All right, that's topic number 2. And third one, worst birthday Okay, what's brought that on, Richard?
I talked to a friend the other day. Happy birthday to him. Had to go to the doctors and they discovered a skin cancer on his forehead.
Hey.
Yes.
Everything's fine. It's benign. Everything's fine. But still, for those 24 hours,
not much
not
fun.
pretty, not a great birthday.
Well, I have 5 siblings, but 4 have had a birthday this year. I'm 1 from 4. I've remembered 1, the other 3 by the wayside.
Well, you don't know what their names are.
No, I know what their names are. I just don't know how old they are or when they were born. So not looking good for them. And one of my sisters called me up and said, so no one rang. Normally one of you remembers, so no one remembered this year. Are you guys trying to tell me something? I said, who is this?
Oh, God. I had that thing you said with the skin cancer. I had to go and get one of those checked out over the break.
Ooh.
And I've gone in to see the doctor.
You don't see any sun.
No, that's the whole point. It's mystifying. How has this happened? Reflected light? Have I been looking at pictures of the sun? When I went to see that film Sunshine, did that somehow affect me? But it turned out to be nothing.
Great.
But I'm in there, and you don't know what it's going to be.
What was it? A chisel?
It's just a shadow. But no, so this guy is like, he's sat me down. He hasn't said a word, and he's got a bit of an accent. I don't know what accent it was, but I'm going to sort of try and approximate it.
You're going.
And he's gone, this is his first words. He's looked at my chart, and then he's looked up and gone, thank God you are here.
There we go.
And then there's been like 10 minutes of questions about thank God you're here. Like really detailed ones. It's like, do you know the scenarios before? Or do they let you see what? No?
No, we don't.
So when you're putting the costumes on, surely you would notice.
Well, sometimes you can tell something.
You would be able to think of some jokes.
Look,
surely.
this is really hurting, actually.
I tell you where I saw you.
It's growing as we speak.
I saw you on the panel.
Yeah.
And you were sitting next to Uncle Arthur.
Okay,
and I'm going, it's Glenn Robbins.
Whose hand is that?
Called Uncle Arthur. Do you know Uncle Arthur very well?
Quite well.
How long have you been working with Uncle Arthur?
Probably the best part of 10 years. Look, this thing is...
What is Uncle Arthur like?
It's covered my eye.
Does Uncle Arthur talk like Uncle Arthur?
Not all the time. Is there someone else I can see?
Yes. So, were you in Cracker Jack?
Look, I'll just cut it off myself.
It just went on and on like that.
Is that your story for Whose Hand is that as well?
I didn't even know where we are. There seems to be
romantics.
Too many topics.
Okay, that's the topics.
There's 3 in the mix.
Oh, you're acting like, that's really clear cut. My guess is no callers.
No, okay, ready? G'day, Kevin.
Oh, g'day, fellas. How are you?
Excellent. What are you having a swing at?
About 20 years ago, there used to be a Brisbane cover band by the name of Retro Toll.
Oh, beautiful.
The Jethro Tull.
Were they up to scratch?
Oh, mate, I never got to see them. I was very disappointed. I was a bit of a Jethro Tull fan, but never got to see them.
I think we're going to give this man a prize. What's it going to be?
Hey, Kevin, what do you...
Hello.
Hey, mate, what do you want? You can have Blink-182, City Homicide, or Kelly Clarkson.
Oh, jeez, the choice is endless. Oh, the wife's a bit of a Kelly Clarkson fan. So
there you go.
The wife.
Now, that one's not for sale, Kevin, so don't sell that one on. All right, thank you very much. Nice to talk to you. G'day, Glenn. How are you?
Well, there's an actual band going around. They're from somewhere in Europe, and they're called Beatalica.
Oh, what do they do?
They do Beatles and Metallica songs together.
Oh, I'd laugh. Fantastic.
Songs like Hey Dude, all that sort of thing.
That's all the only one? Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
And I'm sure their work's on YouTube, was it, Glenn?
I don't know about YouTube. I know they've got their own website where you can download their music.
There you go.
All their lyrics and all that sort of thing.
Now, Glenn, I know you made that up just so you could have a go at these prizes.
Well, you're on to me, aren't you?
Well, City Homicide or Green Day and Blink-182?
Gee whiz. Can you hear the crickets in the background?
Yeah.
You got no bar jar?
Well,
yes, we do.
Right,
Give that man bar jars.
You can have a bar jar, Glenn.
We are going to have to box up one of these promos you hear on radio shows, real radio shows where they have like, yes, more satisfied winners. Oh, what was the first one again? Yes, everyone's a winner.
All right, thank you, Glenn.
New Zealand. Did you see the New Zealand police, Mr. Marsland, on the news last night?
Did they have the police from Police 10-7 involved?
They did, the very polite New Zealand police. Sorry, Eddie, you just writing a sketch while we're on air?
Yep.
It's going to be a beauty.
Probably.
To do with the Little Pumpkin story, I believe.
Oh, yeah, did you see that now? Not making fun of that
Of course not.
story, but the New Zealand cops, they were very sort of... the car was sitting out there for 7 days, and they're going, well, it's quite a different system with getting a search warrant in this country. So I don't know what it is. What is so different about it? They didn't have time to call Interpol. Did you see the bloke from the American police going, well, if they'd called us, we could have been waiting for this bloke at the airport.
That's what we do.
So I don't know what the system is for getting a search warrant. It's got to be. It's checks and
You've got
balances.
to get to the top of Mount Doom with it.
You need signatures and triplicate.
You've got 15 signatures. You've got to get Peter Jackson, and he's very busy doing a longer version of King Kong. So
Voldemort, he's hard to get hold of.
Dave Dobbins out of mobile range. Anna Paquin won't call back. Got to get all these signatures.
All of the All Blacks are in France. They're almost impossible to get hold of. You need all of them. You need all of them.
It's very tricky. We're going to get this guy, though.
That bloke that rode Footshot Flats, where's he? He's hard to get hold of.
Trying to get hold of him is like trying to catch a fish in the Atlantic.
Oh, hang on. What's the South African all of a sudden?
I don't know what I'm doing.
Who is that?
That was a New Zealander.
But we will...
Which one?
Go back to the Zapruder footage. I think you'll find North Islander.
We'll catch this bloke. We've got his video. But watch out because he knows Kung Fu.
He does know Kung Fu.
All right, I feel like we're offending left, right and centre. People are emailing in about our new time slot. It's generally getting the thumbs up, I find.
Okay.
Gives unemployed people, students, an extra 3 hours to sleep in.
A reason to get up in the afternoon.
We are their breakfast program. Listen, there's Hugh Janus. I just thought I'd say it. It's his real name. He says, has management moved, get this, from the lunchtime slot to avoid Ed eating on air? Imagine if that's what it was. Imagine if they had a huge meeting and went, nah, the only way this is going to work, going to have to get in between meals. But there is no between meals for you, Ed Kaplan.
What's the sound of that, Mr. Hugh Janus? It's food, my friend. Bad luck.
Get this at the new time of 2 o'clock.
Or in Adelaide, 3 o'clock.
On the Triple M Network.